Let's chat about Nick and Dana.
We are going to bring on Christopher Bennett, our very first video show guest, in a moment. And we just wanted to say that this is such an interesting topic to explore. It is an offshoot of when Nick and I started talking about Down syndrome and disability and what it meant for Nick in his adult life. And so Christopher's going to join us. We haven't spoken to him yet. We didn't give him any questions to prepare. So we're just going to see how it goes. Yeah. And we're going to see if there's anything we can learn from him.
Yeah.
So one moment and we'll bring him on.
Let's chat about Nick and Dana.
Hello, everybody. We are back. And a couple episodes ago, you will recall perhaps that Nick was having questions about his adult life. And one of the ideas that we came up with during that episode was to talk with another adult about his life. And Christopher Bennett was the first person that came to mind because he is living a very independent life. And so he agreed to be on our show. And so we're very excited, and we thought we would have a conversation with him about his life. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you.
So just to start off, when you were growing up, you want to tell us a little bit about how you went to school and what you did as, a child and teenager?
Yes. Also from an education standpoint, I knew how the teachers felt when they were working with me too at the same time. They felt like they didn't have enough education and not enough resources. So one of my fifth grade teacher did some research more on how to be an educator for students with disabilities, and she worked with me in sign language. I'm still in touch with her too.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So at the time, when I was in school growing up, and I had adaptive PE and as well in between classes. They would send out groups to be more active outside the classroom. That will expand our minds in the classroom.
Right.
Open our minds to come in and learn. So and that opened up opportunities where I was a peacemaker among the students and the teaching staff and so on and forth.
Gosh, I never knew that. That's interesting. So for people who aren't familiar with you, is it an inappropriate thing to just ask what year you were born so people can get an idea of how old you are?
1982.
So 1982. So for those who don't know, back in 1982, there was not a lot of information anywhere about Down syndrome or about education. And so really Christopher's parents at that time were trailblazers in believing in his ability to learn and to interact with typical peers and to live this full and independent life. And if it weren't for parents like Christopher's parents, we wouldn't have known when Nick was born about all the opportunities that Nick was going to have in his life, because even when Nick was born 24 years ago, there wasn't a lot of information about education out there. And so that's really what I've spent my career with Down Syndrome Foundation doing, is bringing that research into the US, and we've been developing programs. But whenever I see your parents or some of the other parents who have adults your age, I think I'm so grateful. Yes, and grateful for you, because when I met you, you were the first adult I ever met with Down syndrome, and you blew me away. We had the best talk at your house, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I could just saw the possibilities.
My first newspaper article was when I was 14, 26 years ago, with the San Clemente Marine Safety Division of San Clemente, California. And I was in the junior lifeguard program and in San Clemente when we were living there. And a reporter followed me and did an article on it, which I still have. So from the insider standpoint, from doing all the trainings they gave me, it opened my mind and my knowledge to expand to marine life, on how to understand how the beaches work and how you can get more involved in more speed sports, and how you can develop body strength at the same time.
Right, right. And I remember reading a lot of those articles, and you shared some with me again. And so, what I will do is under the notes for this, I can put those articles for people who want to look at it, and I can share your website and the new Facebook page that has to do with stuff we'll probably discuss in a little bit. So yeah, so growing up, you had a lot of education, a lot of physical activity, and you did junior golf.
Well, after I was first born, my parents, just like you said, my parents didn't know anything about it or about resources whatsoever. So this is what my father Bruce did for me. He would go to our local Riverside Public Library, and they didn't have any books or any resource books on downstairs. So my dad went out of his way to restock those resource books for our local library that year. And I love my dad for that too.
Yes, no kidding, no kidding. And even now, I mean, there still aren't too many books. I mean, it's not like there are more, but it's just still you have to stock libraries with information and schools with information. So you went through your education, and then you started working, and you moved, to your current location. So do you want to just tell us what you're doing now for your job?
Sure. Currently, for right now, I work on the night shifts, between 5 to 10s and 6 to 10s, and I've been working on my state of California career too for after grocery outlet, because grocery outlet opened up another opportunity in grocery retail, because I did retail already. Now I'm looking forward into more state of California on how I can improve the lives of Californians.
Well, can you tell us about that? Because improving the life of Californians sounds like a big goal. What are you doing along those lines?
Last time I was appointed to serve on the state council was August 2nd, 2005. And I represent the area board state council of the area 4 board for the Napa, Sonoma, and Sonoma counties. So I went to the meetings back and forth, and that gave me more knowledge that I didn't even know I had. So it was driven my focus. Now I'm back to SEDD again for a career as an administrative coordinator.
So you'd be an administrative coordinator doing what?
That means like doing administrative clerical files for the state council.
Yeah, for the state, right?
Yes.
And that's cool. And is that the same as the appointment that you're looking to do with Governor Newsom, or is that something else?
I'm hoping to work towards serving with with Governor Gavin Newsom.
Okay. So that's what we talked about on the phone the other night? Because that sounded
Yeah.
pretty interesting as well. Was that a
Mhm.
disabilities board?
It's a council that serves Californians with disabilities from Sacramento, and at the state capitol from Sacramento. And last time I was in Sacramento was for the um when we have our monthly state council meetings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're a part of that now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. That's fun too. All right. So shifting gears, so that's kind of the work and some of your future goals. What do you like to
Yeah.
do for fun?
Ooh, fun. Well, I'm an internet. What I do for fun is internet blogging.
Really?
Like I started my own website, as you already know, and my digital business card too as well. Um, mm, just basically promoting myself to broader broader more fun. So my my favorite funs is enjoying my married life with my wife and outside of working and enjoying our family time with our families and our NGSC family
Yes, well, for sure. So, how long have you and Teresa been married?
for about um for 1 year next month.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. Are you guys going to be in Florida for the convention?
We are.
Okay.
I also pitched a YNA presentation on my journey to national public service for the convention at the convention.
Okay. Well, I hope it's accepted. I think that would be great. Nick hasn't been to YNA yet. So for those of you who don't know, the NDSC National Convention is a once yearly event that brings together families from really across the nation but around the world. And there are, thousands of people who attend and multiple tracks of speakers, but there's also the youth and adult section of the conference. And so what Christopher was saying is that he's put in to do a presentation for that side. And I would love Nick to go sometimes. I think it would be so neat for him to meet the broader community because he is always here in Orange County. And so he has some friendships and friends, but there's hundreds of people that are adults with Down syndrome there. And I think it would be such a neat thing. And you do fun things. There's the dances and the presentations and lots of interaction. So I think it would be so fun for me. And you guys could meet face to face as well as some of the other friends that I know and So we always have dinner with your dad and mom when we're there too, right? I almost always have one or two meals with you there. So it's fun to
Yes,
get that.
yes,
Okay,
that's
so let's see, what else is there? So that job, so independence, what would you say if you were going to give Nick some advice on what he needs to do to become independent like you in terms of living, because you live in your own apartment and you're on your own? What kind of advice might you give him if you have any? I didn't, I
well.
just,
I well, I didn't have much opportunities myself, but I am going to suggest that he looks into programs close to home in Newport Beach in Orange County, who can encourage them to independent living within your own local community that he feels comfortable living and working within. There's regional centers all over the place too, and I'm sure there's a regional center in Newport Beach too somewhere, who can work with them too from home and from between home and work, kind of like what I do too, from home and work too. My program in Napa is called Moving Forward Towards Independence. here in Napa. I moved there in 2003. So it's been 19 years already.
Oh, wow.
And my program does the same thing. They offer education classes on community safety classes in the community while living independently in the community. So I went from living in transitional living in the houses on the property. Then you gradually work. Then you gradually go through classes in like working on skills, working towards independence. That's what they call it, towards independence. So so you start out with transitional skills like you already have, and they work. And if you're already in the middle of working on skills already, they need to know that so that they know how to work with those skills too as well. And they're very skills oriented.
Yes, well, I love the way you describe that because Nick actually has a
Yeah.
program here where we're working on independence and he's got a job coach. But I think that it hasn't focused so much on the independent living part. So maybe we will look into that a little bit more because I think Nick, I think it's true that it's easier sometimes to learn from people who aren't your family, right? It's like when you work with Jonathan, sometimes you talking to him creates incentive to do things that are more independent than when I ask you to do some of those things in the community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his job coach has become a really good friend. They're the same age, and Nick goes out and he's really, really independent in the
Wow.
community
I have my brother Brian and I both have job coaches too, and my brother Brian has taught me that you need some guidance. You need some employment guidance to guide you through. And, but also remember they're there to work with you too at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're on your team at the same time. They're working with you, not against you. Because I have a job coach too. His name's Nathan Fence with UCP of the North Bay Incorporated. And he would do the same thing too with me. I have an employment specialist who meets with them back and forth. Then he communicates with me back and forth. So it starts with employment specialist providing the employment for the person. Then they assign the job codes to the client. Now it depends on how the client job coach works together.
Right. That's really important because I know that when
Yeah.
Jonathan can't be there and Nick has a substitute job coach, how is it when you have the subs? He doesn't like some of the subs. He really works hard for Jonathan, but it's just look. You can see he doesn't not like the subs. But, you raise a really good point that Nick and I have talked about a little bit, but I like the way you put it. Is because you said your brother Brian has a job coach, but everybody can use mentors, and so it's not that different in music. I have a musical mentor. I'm working on law. I have a lawyer who guides me. And so I think it's just, Nick wonders, how's my adult life different because I have Down syndrome? That's how this conversation started. And I thought, well, everybody needs support and you need support. Your support might just be a little different than other support, but you could still live this really big, independent, great life, right?
When you say different, we all are like they different. That means
our life been different, right?
So that means there's other difference. Like it's how you even though it might be different, life would be boring if it's the same.
Oh, that is true too, right? If we were all the same, gosh, what a boring life we would have. Oh, I love that. Might be my favorite line from talking to you today is it really would be boring if we were all the same. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time on a Saturday, but I appreciate you talking with us. And maybe if we have other questions in the future, we can get you back on. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Hang on one second. I'm just going to turn the recording off and chat with you for one more minute. All right, everybody listening in. If you have questions you want to ask Christopher, just let us know and we will pass them along. So, Nick, I thought that was so interesting hearing from Christopher. What did you think of that?
Well, I do not know.
I know. I thought that while we were doing it, you seemed like you were really tired, but you don't seem tired now. Was it because it's a heavy subject?
No, I don't know why I kept on yawning, and I don't know why, and I cannot really stop. I don't know why I cannot stop being tired. That's why.
I think, honestly, that it's just that it was a heavy subject. Like it was a big subject on your mind.
Not really.
No? Okay. Maybe just need to take deeper breaths. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, were you happy that we got a chance to talk to him?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yes. So I thought it was so fascinating. Some of the things that he said, and I haven't listened back to it obviously yet, but just the idea that people with Down syndrome are more alike than different, that was a kind of a tagline for NDSC, the National Down Syndrome Congress, for a long time. And it really is true in so many ways. And then that he said the world would be such a boring place if everyone was the same. You're yawning again. I'm talking about a heavy subject. You're yawning again.
No.
You just yawned. I saw it. Anyway, and the world would be a very boring place if we were all alike. And the other thing, which I don't know if he said it or I said it, but he mentioned his brother Brian, who does not have Down syndrome, but having a job coach. And the idea that we all can use support and mentors is just a really good point in life, right?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. And Christopher, if you watch this back, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll have to see if we can get some of our other adult friends to join us for a little chat. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, we're gonna go out with our music?
Yeah.
Second dance party.
Okay. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Take care. Really, you're good. Nick, I can't. Nick, really? All right, goodbye.